George Santayana, said, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." Scientists report a great deal of seismic activity near his gravesite over the past 3 weeks. Let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Jordan Camenker with a speech titled "Deja Vu All Over Again."
Look what I found. Very cool. Does this come with the country club? If it doesn't, it's sort of a ghoulish thing. So it was 1967, and back up in Minnesota, school was done in the first couple of days of June. We immediately drove north to Winnipeg, Manitoba, where things didn't go as planned. We spent the first full week of June with my grandfather, who stayed home watching TV reports of the Six-Day War. All of the surrounding Arab countries had begun arraying their armies, their armaments. Even countries that weren't neighbors were preparing to wage war on the Jewish nation state. And with days to go before they anticipated an attack, the Israelis struck preemptively. I did not know a lot about the Holocaust, but I knew it was bad. I knew they killed a lot of Jews, and this looked like it might be a replay. Fast forward to 50 years ago, this month, and the Yom Kippur War was launched. I was living the good life. I was 17, I was in high school, things were going well for me. And I didn't think I could really discuss my issues with anyone except my social studies teacher. So I did. I asked him what he thought about my idea. And he told me, "Well," he said, "if you go, you could lose your citizenship." So I decided not to go and not to fight, and instead I scrounged up what resources I had, brought them to a synagogue in Sarasota, and, called it a day. And now we have this. It's very interesting. My kids have a cousin who lives in Israel. She has a family. They're not leaving. My son has a godmother. Her mother survived Auschwitz. She showed us the tattoos on her arm. My daughter developed a friend in her synagogue, a guy named Lee Finkelstein. Every single member of his family, except him, perished in the Holocaust. And the Camenkers. Well, I'll bet you guys don't know a whole lot of Camenkers. We're not all that common creatures. Now, there might be a few more of us. We hail from Eastern Europe. But the ones who stayed were found by the Nazis, and they slaughtered them. Lieb Camenker, Kana Camenker, Wolf Camenker, slaughtered by the Nazis. Grisha and Shmuel Camenker, they were killed. Sona Camenker, Chaim Camenker, Isser Camenker, murdered. They got Shmuel, I mentioned that. They got Anna and Olga. They got Selma Camenker, all destroyed. Norbert, Marcus, Gustav, Lul Camenker. I could go on and on and on. Jetty Camenker and Jacob Camenker, their only crime? They were Jews. Samuel Camenker, Kana Camenker, Clara Camenker perished. And how does something like this happen? I don't know, but my computer just went out. So I'll tell you how it happens. Walter Langer, who was a psychoanalyst in 1943, was commissioned to do a report for the administration concluded, as he reported to the president, that Hitler had an approach: tell a big lie, repeat it, pick a group, a single group, never admit that you're wrong, every single thing is their fault, focus on them, focus on them, focus on them, and if you tell the lie enough, people will begin to believe it. Well, then you had the Holocaust. Fast forward to today. I am really not so surprised, because I've watched events unfold over the last several weeks and over the last 20 years. But I'll tell you what some of the lies might be, and you can go investigate for yourself. So one of them is apartheid. There's a fellow by the name of Yosef Haddad. He is an Arab Israeli, and he refutes that all the time. He's fought in the IDF. He says he can vote. He goes on the bus. He participates in politics. He does everything that the Israelis do, and he points out that it was an Arab Supreme Court justice that was part of the majority that sentenced a Jewish prime minister to prison. There are Arab members in the Knesset, our version of Congress. Another one, this business of there's levity in every moment, isn't there? The idea that the Jews have somehow stolen this land. At the time that property supposedly was being taken, 750,000 Jews were chased out of their land. They could take no property, they couldn't take their land, they couldn't take their valuables, and they found their way to Israel. Nobody's finding a home for them. So the idea that there is only one displaced group is simply erroneous. It's interesting, too, that there is only one group in all the world and all the history of the United Nations that has permanent refugee status. The definition of refugee for everyone else on the planet is different, and it doesn't recur over generations. I could go on, but I have the red light. If you'd like to know more, please hunt me down and we will chat. With apologies to Cynthia.